So your office objected to us getting Delta records for flights that you may have taken with Mr. Reed.
Well, no. I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
Well, we're dressed for investigating. Let's investigate.
She was away for most of the time, and they went after me, but just think of it. So now she's in trouble because she's taken money that she just gave him. So she said she gave it back in cash, okay? That's a lie. That's a total lie. And if it is a lie, then she's got a much bigger problem, okay? Where'd you get the cash? So this whole witch hunt should be put out of its misery and dismissed immediately. This is a horrible thing that they've done. They wanted to go after a very highly respected United States senator.
We cannot allow you to do that.
And somebody used some common sense. I think somebody probably higher up said, you can't do that. A senator that said, is everything being honest in Georgia? Are they having honest elections? Let's indict him for asking that question. No, they tried to go after a couple of people that you wouldn't even believe if you heard their name. Their whole campaign plan is to attack me because they've done nothing else. That's all they have. And this is all coming out of Washington. I don't know if you know. I call him Lover Wade. Lover Wade. Lover Wade spent days in the White House counsel's office. Do you know that, right? Did you know that? North Carolina. Spent days in the White House and days in the DOJ. Fani is not a local state story. This is done in coordination with the White House.
Meanwhile, got a very big decision to make.
What's on your mind, Commissioner?
Wait. Let me tell you something. All right. Let me tell you something. Wait.
The lack of a confirmed financial split creates the possibility and appearance that Fani benefited, albeit non-materially, from a contract whose award lay solely within her purview and policing. All right, so the judge is saying, hey man, you didn't benefit from Nathan's contract in a significant way. You didn't, but it appears that you could have. It appears that the man that you're having sex with is the same man that's submitting you bills. The man that is in between your thighs is the man that's submitting you invoices.
Girl, what now? What is happening?
You are sucking off a man who's asking you for $700,000. It smells smoky. It smells smoky. It smells smoky. It smells like that should not happen.
She'll be my sugar mama.
Welcome back to the AV to the 7th Power Channel, where we talk about all things law, true crime, and a little bit of debauchery. In a stunning turn of events, District Attorney Fani Willis finds herself embroiled in controversy as an ethics complaint has been filed against her with the Georgia State Bar. Judge McAfee himself, in his decision that was rendered this past Friday, alluded to the possibility of further repercussions in his Friday decision, which criticized Willis as having a tremendous lapse in judgment and acting in an unprofessional manner. Beyond any potential issues with the state bar, Willis faces threats of unpleasantness, or worse, from other authorities in Georgia. She's already under investigation by the Georgia Senate, which solicited testimony earlier this month from the attorney in the Georgia election case who bought the original motion for Willis to be disqualified, Ashley Merchant. Georgia's governor also signed a law to provide legislative fixes to a new commission with the power to sanction and remove state prosecutors. The commission could eventually look into Willis. And on top of that, Congress wants to talk to Fani about the misappropriation of funds. Despite all of that, we are going to talk ethics today. The complaint alleges violations of multiple rules governing the conduct of attorneys, including rules related to fees, candor towards the tribunal, fairness to opposing parties, and much, much more. Let's dive into the specific rules that DA Willis is accused of violating. Rule 1.5 requires attorneys to charge reasonable fees for their services. Allegations suggest that DA Willis may have engaged in fee-related misconduct, potentially overcharging or improperly billing clients. And in this case, it is the residents and the taxpayers of Fulton County.
On the stand, the district attorney's lawyers questioned former Governor Roy Barnes, who now is in private practice. Barnes has the experience necessary. He has prosecuted felonies. As stated, So have the other two special prosecutors Fani hired. Were there no other attorneys licensed to practice in Georgia who didn't have the requisite experience or reputation? Of course there were. There were hundreds or thousands. Why didn't Fani choose among them? If she interviewed several dozen, they didn't accept the position, an observer could understand her looking for a novel approach with the taxpayers' money. There was no need to, as stated. Use of taxpayers' money to pay someone who doesn't have the experience or reputation to litigate RICO and felony cases, especially a former president and high visibility associates, is alleged to violate Rule 1.57.
All right, so he's making a good point here. He's like, listen. Why didn't you take your time and look for other attorneys before you pulled the trigger on Nathan? He is never he was not an ADA. What's an ADA? An assistant district attorney, which Fani was. Fani was an assistant district attorney herself. The district attorney is at the top. They do the felonies. The DA's office handles the felonies. The solicitor's office handles the misdemeanors, the simple batteries, the DUIs, the traffic tickets. Are you saying, Fani, that you interviewed Roy Barnes, he said no, and then you went straight to Nathan? Why didn't you have a open casting call? Why didn't you
candidate pool?
Yeah, like that's a perfect phrase. Why didn't you have a big candidate pool? Why didn't you have 200 attorneys that you contacted to try to get this? Why was it when Governor Roy Barnes said no, let's go to Nathan, I'm fucking him anyway? Why did you go to him? He's the pay it at the window dude.
Yeah.
He's pay it out the window. Why in a complex racketeering case, multi-defendants, one of them being President Trump, why did you go with the dude who tells people to pay at the window? That's what he's, and he's got a point there. Yeah. His thing about, you paid him $250, you should have paid him $140. Nah, that's not a good argument.
Yeah.
But you're using taxpayer money to pay someone who's never prosecuted a felony in his life? That's a good argument right there. That is a good argument. So let's go to the next page here. Again, this is more of the bar complaint that has been filed against Fani Willis. All right. Do you want to pick it up from here, AV?
Rule 3.3a mandates candor towards the tribunal, emphasizing the importance of honesty and transparency in legal proceedings. The complaint raises concerns about DA Willis's truthfulness and forthrightness in her interactions with court. Similarly, let's go to Rule 3.4. 3.4 emphasizes fairness to the opposing party and counsel. The complaint alleges that DA Willis may have engaged in conduct that undermined the fair administration of justice and disadvantaged opposing parties.
That's who they wanted to inflict maximum damage on. They wanted to damage Trump, all right?
Oh my God,
it's so crazy. All right, you want to pick it up right here?
By scheduling it directly in the middle of an election season, her political star rises, and she may be credited with taking down a powerful person in an opposing party. Was this deliberate? We believe it was. That is, she benefited first from excess taxpayer money in the initial drawn-out phase, and then received a massive political bump by clever timing. Thus, the initial prolonged grand juries, followed by the purposeful attempt to accelerate the trial in the middle of an election season, is alleged to be a violation of Rule 3.4G. One of the most concerning incidents is in this case, in a long line of concerning incidents, is when DA Willis used her position to threaten Mr. Wade's wife, Jocelyn Wade, during the divorce proceedings. DA Willis stated in a motion that Miss Wade was trying to embarrass and harass her, and by extension, interfere and obstruct the conduct of the election. Since that time, DA Willis admitted to an improper relationship with Mr. Wade. So Miss Wade had every reason to determine how the marital money was being used before the divorce. This was not an unusual action by the divorcing couple. The unusual action was done by DA Willis in using her position to threaten her paramour's estranged wife during her proceeding. DA Willis was using the full power of her office to threaten Miss Wade with criminal prosecution, with our belief that it was to 1. prevent Miss Wade from adequately fighting for her rights in court, 2. correspondingly help her boyfriend in the case, and 3. prevent herself from being an integral part of the now public divorce case.
Thus, the motion is alleged to be a violation of Rule 3.4. So what is he saying? He's saying, man, Fani was threatening Nathan's wife. He's still married, all right? The man is still married, 25 years in the game, and Fani was threatening her. Not only was Fani threatening the wife, Fani was threatening the wife's attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Fani was telling the wife and the wife's attorney, hey guys, y'all are trying to subpoena me. And yes, I was sucking off Nathan.
You know what?
But you cannot subpoena me, because when you subpoena me, it makes me feel like you guys are trying to interrupt an investigation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we are investigating and indicting Donald Trump. That's what this whole case is about. So when you subpoena me for a deposition, you want me to sit down and you want me to spill my guts, the same guts Nathan was in, the same guts. You want me to sit for a deposition. It looks like you're only asking me to do it for harassment.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like you're only asking me to do it for embarrassment. And I have other things to do. In fact, I am investigating this case of one President Donald Trump. So to the extent that you are asking me to sit for your deposition, you are hindering an ongoing criminal investigation. That's a felony. Oh, and do you know who I am? I'm the district attorney.
That was cute.
Okay. You are out here committing felonies and I'm the district attorney. If there is anybody who you do not want to commit a felony against, who is it? Who is it? It's the damn district attorney herself. If there's anybody that you do not want to commit a felony against, it's the most powerful law enforcement person in the state of Georgia. Commit a felony against Lead. Commit a felony against AV. Don't commit a felony against the #1 law enforcement agent in the state. Are you crazy? That's what Fani told Nathan's wife. Lady, are you crazy?
The worst thing that she did, though, in that same document, she put in there that Jocelyn Wade cheated on Nathan.
Yeah, she exposed him.
And the public is we're all reading the document.
Mm-hmm. You are exactly right. So it's a lot of insanity, going on.
Rule 3.5 emphasizes the impartiality and decorum of the tribunal. Allegations suggest that DA Willis may have failed to maintain the requisite level of impartiality, potentially compromising the integrity of legal proceedings.
Rule 3.5, impartiality and decorum of the tribunal. This rule addresses the integrity of the court and how to act appropriately.
Oh my God.
This is going to be a great page. A lawyer shall not, without regard to whether the lawyer represents a client in the matter, D, engage in conduct intended to disrupt the tribunal. Oh, I can see how this is going to go. Rule 3.5 closes with this penalty. The maximum penalty for the violation, paragraph D of this rule, is public reprimand.
A public reprimand.
All right. Hope you guys are hanging on. Let's do this. On February 15th, 2024, DA Fani Willis took the stand in Judge McAfee's courtroom at 5:22:58 of the judge's YouTube video. The result was a circus. Rather than recount each episode, we'll let the video speak for itself as it shows all the incidents. The world saw the disrespect and disruptions that DA Willis faced on the stand. The following are quotes from various news sources that demonstrate the chaos in the courtroom.
Chaos.
Things went off the rails. Willis didn't act much like a traditional witness and was more like a prosecutor, arguing with the defense attorneys, raising objections, making legal arguments, and even having exchanges with the judge. She even raised her voice at one point. This led to a few rebukes from McAfee, who urged her and other attorneys in the courtroom to maintain professionalism and to not talk over each other. In a nod to a famous courtroom scene from A Few Good Men, D.A. Willis had an outburst similar to Nathan Jessup, played by Jack Nicholson. It says, "You think I'm on trial," Willis said, in her sharpest pushback of the day. "These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020, she added, pointed toward the table of attorneys representing defendants in the case. "I'm not on trial no matter how hard you try to put me on trial."
Bam.
And much, much more. She upbraided Ashley Merchant, one of the defense attorneys questioning her, alleging that Miss Merchant's court filings, which accused Miss Willis of having a disqualifying conflict of interest stemming from a romantic relationship with Nathan J. Wade, the special prosecutor on the case, were full of lies. At one point, her voice approached a yell, prompting Scott McAfee, the mild-mannered judge, to call a 5-minute recess in an apparent effort to cool things down. One publication likened the trial to reality TV. "The fun never sets in the Atlanta courtroom of Superior Judge Scott McAfee." That is the red-hot scene of the adults-only reality TV hit called The Real Prosecutors of Fulton County.
Oh my God, The Real Prosecutors of Fulton. The Real Prosecutors of Fulton County, boy. And this is, I think everyone has said this. Everyone has said this is like, it's like a reality TV show. I mean, they need to make a Netflix documentary, and they need to put us in it, because we have been covering the hell out of this. But it is just insanity, the amount of craziness that is going on, right? Then says one more commentary on her outburst should drive home the point of disruption.
Rule 3.8G imposes special responsibilities on prosecutors, emphasizing the importance of upholding the highest standards of ethics and professionalism. The complaint raises concerns about D.A. Willis's adherence to these special responsibilities. Rule 4.1 requires truthfulness in statements to others. Allegations suggest that D.A. Willis may have made false or misleading statements, potentially undermining the integrity of the legal profession.
Yep, the climax of her speech that day was this. First thing they say, "Oh, she's gonna play the race card now." But no, God, isn't it them who's playing the race card when they only question one? Isn't it them playing the race card when they constantly think, "I need someone from other jurisdiction in some other state to tell me how to do a job I've been doing for almost 30 years? The New York Times reported Miss Willis's performance Thursday was a different kind of response. Shot through with pride, hurt, and blustery verbal joust, it was the antithesis of the buttoned-up approach taken by Jack Smith, a special counsel leading 2 federal crime cases against Mr. Trump. And it was pitched not only to Judge McAfee, who will determine whether she will be able to keep the case, but also to Fulton County voters, who will decide whether to re-elect her later this year and who will make up the jury in the case. She may have been speaking to a nation that is now entertaining doubts about the validity of her prosecution. She played the race card slur against her accusers. There was a hunger in the press for her commentary on the case, so she could assume the speech would become public and the results could easily influence members of the jury pool. There was no evidence of her accusers using race. D.A. Willis had the affair that she was later forced to admit in a brief and on the stand to judge in the McAfee court. And one man who was one of her 3 special prosecutors, she used the fact that he was Black as a shield and a weapon to use against any accusation.
Rule 8.4 prohibits misconduct by attorneys, including conduct that reflects adversely on their fitness to practice law. The complaint alleges that DA Willis's conduct may have fallen short of the standards expected by legal professionals.
Has he ever visited you at the place you laid your head?
So let's be clear, because you lied in this. Let me tell you which one you lied in. Right here. I think you lied right here. No. This is the truth, Judge. And it is a lie. It is a lie.
Ms. Willis? Mr. Sena, thank you. We're going to take 5 minutes. Be back in 5.
Finally, Rule 9.5 addresses the role of lawyers as public officials. The complaint raises concerns about DA Willis's conduct in her capacity as a public official, suggesting potential breaches of ethical obligations. Furthermore, going a little bit deeper, Rule 4.108 allows for emergency suspension of an attorney's license in cases where their conduct constitutes a threat of harm to clients or the public. The severity of the allegations against DA Fani Willis may warrant such action. As the investigation unfolds, all eyes are on the Georgia State Bar to uphold the integrity of the legal profession and ensure accountability for any violations of ethical standards. The defendants in the election case could also continue pursuing the issue in the courts by seeking an appeal before the case has fully been resolved at trial. That would mean asking Judge McAfee for what's called a certificate of immediate review. Earlier this week, the defendants collectively came together and filed that document. Willis also faces a primary election in May against a former prosecutor in a heavily Democratic Fulton County. If she survives, she will go to general election in November. Those will be added forums to keep the allegations alive. Stay tuned for further updates as the shenanigans continue to develop. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there. See you in the next one. Bye.